ancient world, people didn't sail across the ocean. The ocean was untamable. The ocean was off limits. The ocean was somewhere that people could not survive. If you were lost on the ocean or trapped out at sea, you were as good as dead. And so in ancient metaphors, it becomes common to use the ocean or the sea or a large body of water to describe a sense of hopelessness, a sense of despair, a sense of nothingness and destruction. We see this large body of water show up again and again in the Scriptures. In fact, in the very beginning, when God begins to create the earth, remember it says that darkness covered the surface of the watery depths, and the Spirit of the Lord was hovering over the waters. In other words, before there was anything, there was watery chaos. When humankind rebels against God and God becomes regretful that He made them, once again the world descends into a pit of despair and destruction and watery nothingness, and only Noah is preserved. But each time, God sends a ruach, a word in the Hebrew language that can be translated spirit, or at other times, wind. The Spirit of God, or the ruach of God, shows up in Genesis chapter 1. In the midst of the watery chaos, the ruach of God separates the water so dry ground can appear. When Noah is stranded in the waters of the flood, God sends a strong ruach, or wind, to drive the waters back so that dry ground can appear and Noah can have a firm place to stand. The pattern emerges again as we get to the book of Exodus, chapter 14. The people of Israel have journeyed out of Egypt, but the Egyptians aren't finished with them yet. They're still slaves, in a sense. Should God not intervene in a miraculous way, Israel will be carried right back into slavery, right back into the clutches of Pharaoh, of wickedness and evil. And they're trapped. Trapped between Pharaoh, the representation of the serpent, and the sea. Chaos, death, destruction, despair. And they cry out. They cry out to God, they cry out to Moses, and God answers. He says, Moses, stretch your staff above the sea, and a great east ruach, wind, blows. The sea is parted and dry ground appears. And the people of God are delivered from the chaotic waters around them, from the despair and lost aloneness, isolation of destruction. The Spirit or ruach, wind of God, makes a dry path. The children of Israel pass through the sea on dry ground and emerge on the other side a free nation. And it's at this moment that the people will look back on and say, it was at the sea when God sent His great and powerful ruach to separate the waters that we became a nation. It was at the sea when God split the despair and the no hope water to give us a firm place to stand, that we became a people. It was at the sea where God rescued us.